Hello everybody. Today I've got the Otters class book for you, and this book belongs to Miss Foy, and it's called The Otterley, bit of a tongue twister. The Otterley by Myri Hedderwick, and it's about a lovely otter and his family. So I chose to sit with a bit of sound from the water. I don't have a pond. I've always wanted a pond, desperate for a pond, still waiting for that one. But I do have a little bit of the bubbles going on here, and I thought it might make us feel like we're sitting by the river with the otter. I thought that might be quite a nice little touch to the story, add a bit of atmosphere. Okay, let's have a look. Also, we have a map at the beginning that tells us where the otters live and everything. The Otterley. Can you see that there? Maybe put it back there for you. The Otterley family lived in a cosy burrow, which Pa Otterley had carefully dug out of the warm brown earth. A door of neatly woven willow and ferns led inside to a comfy couch with cushions of sea pinks. Seaweed curtains framed a large window overlooking the bay, which was full of mackerel. Their home was just perfect. Oh, lovely. Looking onto the sea. One morning, however, Pa Otterley woke in a bad mood. The door kept banging and the moonlight came through the curtains. The door could be stopped, dear, and the curtains made thicker, suggested Ma. No, announced Pa Otterley, I'm finding us a new home. Ma was quite taken aback. Otto and Ottina were very upset. Oh dear. But Pa always knew best, so they packed the pots and pans and toys and trailed out the door after him. All day long, Pa Otterley loped inland, following the river. Why can't we have a rest? Implored Ma after a while, weary of her load. We're hungry, mewed Otto and Ottina, but Pa led on. There they are, going along their road with their little backpacks on as well. Here it is, beamed Pa Otterley. The family squeezed through a tiny opening into a dark cave. Perfect, he said. No window, no door. I'll find some food. Ma got a fire going and Otto and Ottina played ghosts, but when it was time to go to bed, they missed the sea pink cushions and their tummies were rumbling, for Pa had only found a handful of worms. I'll catch a big sea trout tomorrow, he promised. Sleep well. He seems very confident, doesn't he, Pa? Seems to know what he's doing. But nobody slept well. The wind whistled through the tiny entrance, and in the darkness, no one knew when it was morning. We're moving, grumped Pa Otterley. Oh dear, they've only just got there, now they're moving again, look. Here it is, beamed Pa Otterley. Behind a high waterfall was another cave. Ma, Otto and Ottina flung themselves down on the thick carpet of moss. Perfect! A stained glass window and door in one, and this is where the salmon leap. Hungrily, the Otterleys waited for salmon to leap. No, none came. Whatever, said Pa. We'll sleep well tonight. So that's it, underneath a beautiful waterfall. That makes me think I can hear the waterfall as well here. Maybe not the waterfall, but it makes me think I can. But nobody slept well. Heavy rain flooded the waterfall into the cave, Soaking wet and starving hungry, Ma and the children followed Pa over the moor. The rabbits disappeared into their cosy burrows when they saw them coming, just like our own dear home, thought Ma. Couldn't we stay here? She suggested. No, grumped Pa Otterley. Follow me. Moving again. Here it is, beamed Pa Otterley, dry as can be. Shelves of mushrooms and nuts lined the inside of the hollowed-out tree. Hopefully Ma unpacked her pots and pans. Otto and Atina somersaulted into the bed of rustling leaves, laughing and squeaking. The mushrooms and nut stew didn't taste too bad. Otto and Atina asked, "Can we have some mackerel tomorrow?" "No," said Pa Otterley. "No, see. We eat what we find. Sleep well." See, they're missing their sound of the sea and their mackerel. But nobody slept well. They woke to a terrible screeching. Nuts rained down on them. "Go away, this is our home," the squirrels screamed. "Go away, we want our home," wailed Otterley and Atina. "Please, Pa," beseeched Ma. "There was nothing wrong with our old home." "No," grumped Pa Otterley. "Follow me." "For the very last time," muttered Ma, somewhat belligerently. That means she wasn't really too pleased to do it. As she shouldered her battered pots and pans. Goodness me, how many times now have they moved these pots and pans all the way across the island? That would be that lovely map at the beginning. Although they were going downhill, it was hard plodding through the snow, so the Otterleys tucked their tails up onto their tummies and they slid down on their bottoms. "I smell the sea," sniffed Otto. "I smell mackerel," sniffed Atina. Oh wow, they're happy now. They're really happy. "Here it is," beamed Pa Otterley, opening a door of neatly woven willow and ferns, almost hidden by a snowdrift. "This is quite the most beautiful home I have ever seen," smiled Ma. "Isn't Pa clever to find us such a perfect home at last?" "Oh yes," chorused Otto and Atina. Can you see where the perfect home is that Pa's found for them? Looks very familiar, doesn't it? Delighted, Ma carried in her pots and pans. "I'll light the stove, my dear," said Pa helpfully. Then Pa said, "I know exactly where to go for a mackerel supper, which is rather strange, don't you think, this being our new home?" Ma, Otto and Atina smiled at each other, but they didn't answer. They knew that everyone would have a good feed and a good night's sleep, and that Pa Otterley would never ever talk about moving home ever again. And there they are, so happy back in their original home. And if that's going to be the last page. Yes, it is. And there's the map. Look, again, you can see how far they moved all across the island. They were so busy. Okay, I really enjoyed that, and I hope if you closed your eyes and listened to the sound of the water, it would make you think that you were by the sea and the Otterleys. Hope you enjoyed that story as much as the Otters do in their class with Miss Foy. Okay, everybody, take care. See you soon. Bye for now.